why your negative self-talk is sabotaging or is blocking you from living the life of your dreams. I wanted to bring this subject to you because it just kind of keeps creeping up for me. It keeps coming to me that the negative self-talk is not very easy to shift. It's not an easy work to all of a sudden wake up in the morning and be all loving yourself, with cheerleading yourself and being all positive about yourself. I understand that, and I always stress about anything when it comes to healing, when it comes to evolving as your awakened woman. I always say that it's a journey. I always let you know that you want to relax into the transformation rather than rush it into it. So you want to be very into your masculine, into your feminine energy rather than a masculine energy when it comes to your healing. We can be in our masculine energy when it comes to creating businesses, when we want to pursue the dreams, when we actually want to take action in life, then that's absolutely perfect. But also it's important to balance these two out. So from coming online with you and doing it in a very masculine way, I'm taking action, I'm showing up, doing things. Then I had a day of spending time with my daughter. I had a day of creating. I had a day of just being, really, and that's how we balance these things out. And I just want you to know that on your journey, on awakening journey, I want you to really remind yourself all the time that healing and becoming the awakened woman is not about hustling. It's not about that at all. It's about being in tune with yourself. Okay, so number one, why? So going back to the question, why your negative self-talk blocks you from living your dream life. Number one, it shatters your self-esteem. Now that's really quite self-explanatory, but I wanted to bring to you and kind of talk into that, because oftentimes we obviously negative self-talk stems from low self-esteem. But when we can start actually becoming aware, which I will be giving you tips on how to start healing this negative self-talk in your head, and we will be talking on how to take action in your masculinity. I want you to understand that your self-esteem is being compensated every single time that you judge, blame, shame, judge, blame and shame yourself. Whenever you speak to yourself in without any love, without compassion, and you talk to yourself from the place of, like a judgy, your self-esteem is being compensated. So you're almost deepening the wound of not feeling good enough, not lovable, not worthy enough, all of these things. You are deepening that wound by doing this to yourself. And I can't stress how hurtful it is and how painful it is to me to see that we are so deeply disconnected from ourselves. We are so deeply judgmental of our journey without any compassion towards it, without having to remember where we came from, without having to remember that we all doing the best we can with what we know at the time, and with the consciousness, with the level of consciousness that we have. So your self-esteem is being very much shattered, diminished by your negative self-talk, and you perpetuate your low self-esteem, which obviously I believe, and my deepest belief is that everything that we do in life, the dreams that we pursue, the jobs that we go after, the partners that we have, the relationships that we have, friendships, etc., everything in our life stems from our self-esteem. In other words, you will never go for the job that you don't feel worthy of. You won't be brave enough for that because you don't see yourself as that person that could actually do it. And if your self-esteem is high and is healthy self-esteem, you won't limit yourself. You will be limitless. In your head, you'll be like, well, I don't see why I can't try. I can learn anything. I can learn any skill. I'm more than capable of doing and pursuing that dream. But if your self-esteem is diminished, this will be very hard for you, because I always say this: if you give yourself a 7 or 6, no one will give you a 10. People are mirrors to us, and in our life we attract into our life people who will treat us the way we treat ourselves. And so that's why it's so important to cut the negative self-talk, because it's the negative self-talk that is the almost like a it's an expression of what you actually think of yourself. Number 2, why your negative self-talk is sabotaging your desired reality is your self-trust and your self-belief is being diminished. And when it comes to self-trust, it's like and I was like this for the majority of my life. I had no trust in myself. I would go and ask people for advice, or I would go to mediums. I would go and try and seek. And essentially what I was doing, I was trying for everyone else to live my life. I was trying to give the responsibility of me making decisions in my life to other people, because I didn't trust myself. So get this, like how dangerous it is to do that, because you giving your life to someone else's hands. It doesn't matter if it's your partner and you think he's the love of your life. It doesn't matter if you're to your children. It doesn't matter if you're to your parents. It does not matter, because your journey on this planet, your journey in this lifetime is very specific to you, and so is everyone else's. So there's no person in this world that can live your life for you. There's no person that can make better decisions about your life than you. Your wisdom is within you. It's within your intuition, it's within your body, it's within your gut. So by not trusting ourselves, we are leaving ourselves so short of what's actually out there and what's actually aligned with us. Because no person can direct you in the way that you would know yourself. No person can live your life for you. And to me, when I think about it, how majority of my life, I did not take that responsibility. And yes, it was me being weak and victimizing myself and being like, okay, well, I'm just going to let my partner make that decision, or my parents, or my mom, my sisters, spiritual mediums, I would go and find the answers. And I was very disconnected from my intuition. And now I don't even feel, I still go and see medium, because I, not for the same reason though. I go and see medium because I have a set of questions that I want to ask them. But that's not because I'm lost. That's not because I don't know where I'm going. That's not because I don't trust myself. It's just something I like doing. I like to deepen my spirituality. And I think mediums, if it's the right person, they can be very helpful on the spiritual journey. But I trust myself. Today, it took time to heal. It took time to recognize my gifts. It took time to journal. It took time to really be with myself in those moments where I had to, on a daily basis, I had to really recognize and notice when I don't trust myself. Where is it that I have to seek anyone else's opinion? And then I would stop myself in my tracks. I would meditate. I would sit down with myself and I would ask the questions. That's how you build your self-trust and your self-belief. So believing in yourself and believing in your abilities is so, so important. And of course, by your negative self-talk and you sitting there and judging yourself for every single thing in the past, in the present, you keeping yourself short from you're diminishing your belief in yourself. You're diminishing your ability to achieve anything in life, because again, if you don't believe that you are capable and you don't believe in your capacity to pursue the dream, to pursue the best relationship that you can have, to go after this new job, or or your health goals, if you don't see yourself capable of it, you are not going to do it, because you're not going to have motivation to do it. You're not going to believe that you can achieve it. So of course, you're never going to take the steps to actually pursue your dreams and pursue your, fittest body, whatever that is for you, your new home, your better job, whatever, the love of your life. You're never going to pursue that. And even when it comes to the love of your life, you wouldn't be pursuing it, you would be attracting that, because as a feminine women, we attract, we don't chase, we don't go after men, we attract men into our life, and that's how it should be done. But if you have the belief in yourself, in your capacity and your capabilities of achieving what you want in life, then you will go after it. But when we sit there and judge and talk to ourselves in this very negative way and just being oblivious, because the thing is, and this will be this in our steps onto how to overcome your negative self-talk, and I'll give you the tools of how we can start shifting from you being negative about yourself to then starting to slowly but surely healing from the misunderstanding that you bought into, the misunderstanding that you're not good enough, the misunderstanding of that you're not capable, that you're not worthy, that you're not lovable, all of these things. It is only a lie, because it's not true. And the problem is, whenever we bought into those misunderstandings, whenever we buy into the story because our parents told us, because our dad wasn't there, because, I don't know, we were bullied at school, whatever caused you to think that you are not worthy or not good enough, and you can't believe and trust yourself, and you don't feel that you are capable of achieving anything in your life that you ever wanted, it is time to break the pattern of that and understand that none of this is true, and it is your subconscious mind that's still running the show. It's your subconscious mind that has this belief, limiting belief, that you are not worthy, not good enough, etc. So by doing the work that I'm going to be talking about, by doing the steps, and by kind of just following those steps on how to shatter your negative self-talk and how to stop actually doing it to yourself, how to stop attacking yourself, and I mean attacking yourself in that way, you will start finding that your worthiness, your self-esteem will be more healthy, your self-trust will kind of rise up, and you will then start eventually creating a different reality for yourself. And that leads me to number 3, why your negative self-talk is blocking you and stopping you from living the life of your dreams. That is, your energetic field is being, how do I say it? Your energetic field is being shattered and diminished by every thought that you create. So let me just explain to you. So we have an energetic field, which is, if you spread your arms, it's probably just about a couple of inches away from your fingers, and it goes all the way around your body. This is scientifically based. We can see it today. We know it's there. It's an energetic field. Okay. Hello, Caroline. I think Caroline is saying, I think trusting in yourself and breaking those patterns is really tough. Self-doubt is so intrusive, but it's so good when you feel that negative talk decrease and the positive energy start growing. Absolutely. So this is what I'm speaking into, Caroline, right now, and this is what you're saying, which is so wise, and I appreciate you for your wisdom here, because you are right. The positive energies start growing once you start diminishing that voice within you. And like Caroline quite rightly said, it's not easy. It's tough, because about it, if you are running on this autopilot for the last 20, 30, 35 years, if 40 years, sometimes 60 years, if you've been running with this negative self-talk, just running in your head, one, just think about how much your body is affected, because every thought creates a chemical reaction in your body, which creates the emotion, right? So that's what emotion is. Emotion is a chemical reaction in your physical body. So that's number one. So understanding that every negative self-talk, every negative thought in your head, whether it's about yourself or others or universe or the world, it doesn't really matter. It creates an energetical charge, and it creates a negative chemistry in your body. So you're physically getting yourself ill from your negative talk. That's number one. Number two, you are creating, your energy field is attracting. So I don't know if you believe or if you've heard of law of attraction and law of resonance. Law of resonance is the universal law that what we put out there is what we will attract. And it shows up in our relationships, it shows up in our life, in our world. So we have to bring to awareness how important it is to, and like Caroline said, it's not easy. It is not easy to all of a sudden change from judging yourself, blaming yourself, shaming yourself, to then shift into, I love myself, I accept myself, I'm compassionate. I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but it's pretty simple. It's just the practice. It's a practice of being aware. And I'm going to get to the steps of how we can heal that. But thank you so much, Caroline, for your wisdom, because that is so true. It's not easy. But once we start shifting from it, our energy is physically changing. And that's another point, is our energetic field is being compromised by our negative self-talk. And we then start going into the spiral of attracting negative people, negative situations, negative situations into our life. So I'm so aware of it that today I will be like, I am so tuned in and tapped in and zoned into how I feel, how I think, what is my emotional and physical state, that if I can't, and I sometimes still, after 5 years of this practice, after 5 years of meditation, after 5 years of growing, self-development, all of this awareness, I still, and I'm pretty sure this will pursue this will be happening throughout life, because we can't expect to not ever have that negative thought. That's not how it works. That's very rigid and it's very masculine. We want to be in the flow with ourselves. So, but what I'm saying is, every time I have this negative thought, for a very long time, because what I found with the universe, and because I work on law of attraction and law of resonance so much, I've noticed that if I am, say, negative for a week or two, because I'm in this emotional, some circumstances are affecting me and I can't really kind of conquer that, and I'm kind of trying to jump through those hoops, but I'm failing. I find that the universe responds in my life. So things are starting to go wrong in my life, probably about a week or two of me being negative. And this is just for me, how I resonate with the universe. This is what I'm noticing. And it goes the other way. So if like I'm super positive and joyful and gratitude practice, and I meditate and I sleep enough and I'm just joyful, then I find that things start happening and shifting as well. Sometimes quicker actually when it comes to the positive ones, because I recently had something happening to me, and I literally done the healing exercises week before, and then this beautiful thing has happened to me like a week later. So all I'm saying is that we are energetical beings having a human experience, and what we put out there, our thoughts create emotion, emotion creates energetical charge. When we don't control what we think about ourselves and others and the world and all of this, but especially about ourselves, we end up being depleted. We end up attracting the wrong people, the wrong jobs, life is hard. We have to be masculine then, because we have to almost try to avoid the things that could be happening to us. And then all of a sudden we are all in fear, fight or flight mode, because we have been attracting all of this to ourselves. So, but when we are in the flow, when we are compassionate, when we take the time to really, I think the biggest shift for me, from shifting from negative self-talk to be like I am today, was when and I do recommend you doing this exercise if you ever have time. It's not going to take that long, but doing the exercise, I've done the exercise with my coach where we wrote out everything that I've done in my life. So all the different situations in my life, good and bad, and I rated them from 1 to 10, like the most significant ones, of course, the most significant situations in my life. And I've rated them 1 to 10, good and bad. And I've had them, basically I had my 36 at the time, or 37 at the time, years of my life in front of me on the piece of paper, on this massive piece of paper on the board. And my coach asked me one crucial question, and he said to me, can you now tell me which one of these things were actually your doing? Your conscious decision to make that mistake, or go after this thing that didn't then work out, and now you sit there and judge yourself for. There was only 2. There was 2 things in my 36 years of living that were actually something that I, as a human being, as an adult person, decided to make that mistake, which I don't see it's a mistake. I still think it was my learning, it was my evolution. I had to do it, because when we see the world from that perspective and understand that every single thing that happens to you in your life is God sent, because that's how we evolve. We never evolve when it's comfortable. We never evolve when it's all great and it's all happy days and we are all happy. We don't, because when we are happy and everything is great, why would you want to change that? You wouldn't. But all of the struggles that are presented to us in our lives are there as a beacon of light. They really are. It's just seeing them in that way and being like, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this heartbreak? What is this heartbreak presenting me with? How did I attract the man into my life that doesn't value me? How did I attract this job that I sit here and I freaking hate it? How did I attract this friend that is constantly breaking my boundaries and is walking all over me? How did I do that? When we can start taking responsibility for who we are and what we put out into the world and what energy we put out into the world, in other words, the worthiness that we don't have because we don't project it into the world. We don't come from this place of I am worthy of everything that I can have. Everything is there and I'm abundant and there is enough to go around. When we come from that place, things start shifting. But it all starts with your self-talk. It all starts with you being grounded in who you are, in being grounded in accepting that yes, you've made mistakes. That's fine. Those mistakes were there to teach you a lesson. And even if you didn't learn a lesson from them, maybe you can learn it now with the awareness and consciousness that you have. Nothing is lost. You can always go back to those moments when you could have done something else, and in your mind's eye, you can learn from these things and you can cherish those things, and because that's what creates your lifetime. That's what creates you being here on this earth. And I'm sorry if your journey was difficult. I'm sorry if you were hurt, you were abused. I am so sorry. At the same time, I'm not ever going to allow you to fall into your victim mindset, because in the victim, nothing can change. In the victim, you are just victim. You victimized yourself in your victimized mindset. We are here as awakened women to step into our power. We are here to take responsibility for our life, for then teaching our daughters to be it, teaching their daughters to be it, to set the example to those that come after us, and to heal the lineage that we had before us as well. That's why we are here today. And to do that, you cannot sit there and judge yourself. There is a bigger picture and a bigger plan in this world, and you are part of that plan. You are a female, you are a feminine woman in your power, and when you can step into it, not only are you going to attract everything that you want into your life, you will also start living your life in the most feminine and soft way, in alignment with who you are, in alignment with what your values are. And then people might start shedding away from your life. Don't be afraid. They might do, or they might not. I don't know. But I do know that when we transform and when we change and when we start loving ourselves, setting the boundaries, and we stop that negative self-talk in our head, things do start shift. Because my life, I was talking to my coach today actually, and we went to Spain for my coaching session a year ago. And I was talking to him and he said to me, wow, Marta, you have changed so much. Like my life has changed. A year ago, I left my partner after 17 years of relationship together. 17 years together. And I love him to bits. I think he's an amazing guy. He's the father of my daughter. But we drifted apart. And we were no longer aligned in where I'm going, where is my purpose and why I'm here for. He wasn't supporting that, and I couldn't stay. And I had to make that decision and be brave enough to do that, to be a single mom like I am today. But I have never felt as strong, as powerful, as in my purpose as I am right now. And everything started with me working with me. Everything started with me listening to my gut. Everything started with me being gentle with me, being loving towards me, being compassionate to my journey, seeing my previous experiences from the place of understanding, nurturing my inner girl, my inner child, giving her what she needed, giving her what she needs still, and visit myself on an everyday basis and be like, okay, this is coming up, this situation is triggering me. What am I learning here? But the last thing I'm going to do ever right now is to judge myself, to hate myself, to blame myself, to shame myself, because I know that as a human being who's sitting there and she's judging, she's blaming, she's shaming, she's hating on herself, you are not powerful. You are not in your power. You are in your victim. So for us to actually step into our power, into the awakening, into being brave enough to go through being brave enough to do this work, to step into your authentic self, your person who's like your best cheerleader, you need to stop the talk. You need to stop it. And now that brings us to how you do it. Because it's all well and good, Marta. Okay, fine. I don't want to be having this negative self-talk. How do I fucking get rid of it, right? So we're going to start becoming aware. Number one is become aware of that talk. And I don't mean right now sitting listening to Marta talking. I mean on a daily basis. Whenever that's the negative self-talk, almost become an observer of your thoughts. You observe yourself, how you pursue your life. How do you go about your life? You start being aware of how does Caroline, how does Rachel, how does she go about life on an everyday basis? What is her thoughts like? You're going to start becoming aware, because the awareness is number one step to starting the change. Every change starts with awareness first. So I want you to become aware of where your mind is drifting. What are the situations in your life that are bringing the negative self-talk? Is it going to the gym whenever you put your leggings on? then you start going? Or is it brushing your teeth in the morning and looking at yourself in the mirror? Is that when it happens? Become aware. Just become aware. And as soon as you see yourself doing it, as soon as you step into that negative self-talk, you stop yourself and you make a different choice. You stop yourself in your tracks and you go, no, 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 that's not what we do anymore. We don't do this anymore to ourselves. I'm not doing this to me. I'm not doing this to you. Talk to your little girl. You could even pretend that you have an avatar inside of you, or like willed, and you could talk to her and say, no, 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 we don't do this anymore. We don't talk to ourselves like this anymore. And when you start, and then you can, if you are in front of your mirror and you're brushing your teeth, and then you can stop once you brush your teeth and you can stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, I love you. I accept you. Sometimes, do you know how often I give myself a pep talk in the mirror? I literally stand in front of the mirror and I pep talk myself into whatever I'm overcoming, into whatever struggle I'm going through, into whatever limiting self-belief. I mean, I am seeing, recently I have been having this massive trigger. So I had to talk myself out of it. But this is how the work is done. You become aware. You becoming aware, okay, what is the thought? Where is this coming from? And if you want to go deep, start journaling. In the evening, okay, well, I had this intrusive thought today. Where does this come from? When did I buy into this misunderstanding that I'm not good enough, that I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy? When? And then go back into your inner child and start healing her, because your little girl is sitting there waiting. She's waiting to be loved. She's waiting to be nurtured. She's waiting to be spoken to with love and compassion. And she is waiting to be seen and heard. And that's how you heal. Number 2, start practicing affirmations. So you can affirm to yourself every day. You can journal in the morning, in the evening. I am worthy. And I know the hack to it, because if you say to yourself, I am enough, and your subconscious mind doesn't believe that, your brain will sabotage it in a way, no, you're not. Like, your brain will tell you you're not, so why are you lying to yourself, right? So the very amazing thing that you can do to your brain, to hack your brain in that way, to start hacking yourself into loving yourself, is to ask a question: why am I so valuable? Why am I so worthy? Why am I so rich? Why am I so abundant? Why am I so skinny? Why am I so beautiful? Why am I this and that? Whatever that is for you, ask the brain a question, why? Because the brain then will go and try to find the answer to the question, and the brain will go into because your husband loves you so much, or why am I so beautiful? Because you have beautiful features and they are your heritage features, and why did it? So start working with affirmations. Okay. Number 3, look for evidence as to why you are worthy, why you are the most amazing creature. And I said this before, if you've been listening to me for a while, that I only have 4% of battery, which is really annoying because I might not be able to finish the live. So I'll speed it through it, and I hope this is going to be enough time. So I've been on my phone doing the podcast and stuff today, and I didn't really have a chance to plug it in. So look for evidence. Look for evidence as to why you are worthy. Do your children look at you like you are the most amazing mom? Do your colleagues at work treat you well? Like, try to find the evidence. And you can, again, write it out. You can be, what's the evidence that I'm lovable? What's the evidence that I'm worthy? What's the evidence of me? Where can I see it in my life? Because I'm 100% positive that there's so many reasons as to why, and so many evidences there in your life that you are all these things. It's just, we need to start rewiring your brain. We need to start changing your consciousness around yourself, because at the moment what you are doing to yourself is you are sabotaging your life. You're sabotaging your future Because if you have the same thoughts over and over again, and tomorrow you wake up and you are exactly the same person, the same thoughts, I can tell you now that 80% of the thoughts that you had today are the same thoughts as you had yesterday, and they will be the same thoughts tomorrow, until you until you put the spanner in the works, until you start what's the word I'm looking for? Interrupting those negative thoughts. Until you start doing that, in 10 years' time, you will be the same person if you won't make anything happen. If you won't make the changes of how you treat yourself, your life will look exactly the same, because you are the same person. You're not evolving, you're not changing. So ask yourself a question. Are you willing to do the work? Are you tired of the life that you're living right now? Are you tired of being treated with disrespect? Are you sick and tired to be someone's doormat? Because if you are, the work starts within you. And I want so much for you to be the beautiful person that you are. And honestly, I think it's a gift, because I have this thing that I see anyone in my life that I come across, and I see beyond the veil. I see the beauty of that human being. And maybe I'm being delusional, but I see people as, you are a gift to this world. You are. And if I can see it in you, it'll be such a shame if you can't see it in you, because I can't change your life for you. I can't make the decisions. I can't set the boundaries. I can't find you the love of your life, but you can. Last but not least, embody your new identity. And I'm not going to have so much time to talk about it. I will probably come live next week, and we're going to talk about identity and how we shift things in our life by embodying our new identity. And I believe that even addictions and anything that you want to change and manifest in your life, if you can start becoming a new identity, in other words, if you are the person that's not addicted to vape or to binge eating, to Netflix, to all these things, in your head, you won't be doing it. Like, you won't be, because your identity isn't it. But I think that's a subject for another life. I think we can go deep with that one. And I think that's what we're going to do next week. My beautiful ladies, I'm going to have to wrap up, because I'm looking at my battery and it is 3%. So I'm going to have to finish for today. I have been talking to you for 42 minutes too. So I think that's enough. I just wanted to announce that very soon, obviously, I'm not sure if you know, I have my podcast, so go ahead and listen to the podcast, invite women to it. I want you to share it. I appreciate you so much. The more women are listening, the more content I'll be able to do, and the more I'll be able to serve. Because there's nothing as bad as talking to yourself, and eventually you can imagine. It just motivates me when you are there. It motivates me to come and serve. It motivates me to share with you. So I'd love for you to go ahead and listen. I had a new podcast episode today that it's live now, and I would like you to share that with women that you love, or just women that you know. And if you find that this helpful for yourself, then obviously share it with others. And I also will be running a retreat for women. There's very limited spaces, because this is my first ever retreat. There are only going to be maybe 8 to 10 women, and it's going to happen in June the 21st. In a new moon, a strawberry moon. I'm waiting for dates to come back to me. I'm waiting for confirmation from the retreat place, and I hope we can come together in a sisterhood on June the 21st, and I'm so excited to run that retreat. So I'm starting talking about it. I'm really scared, don't get me wrong. I'm shitting myself. I've never done this before, and I was very close to pulling out and being like, no, I can't do it, but I've been called to do it. It came into my meditation. The name of the retreat is Reconnect, and we will be reconnecting to yourself, and we will be reconnecting together in a sisterhood, and I'm so excited about that. All right, my lovely ladies, let me know if you found this valuable. I would like you to comment and let me know, like even you can even message me if there is a subject that you would like help with. I would love for you to let me know so I can cover that subject for you as well. Sometimes I'm running out of ideas, so it would be amazing if you could support me in that. Thank you so much. I love you and enjoy your week ahead, and I'll see you next Monday. Take care.